All right. Anyways, all right, I'm back here, guys, and I'm going to be doing another video today, and I'm going to be making it over vaporizing. There's different ways of vaporizing your bees. There's different kinds of tools that you can use. You can go on manlake.com, betterbeekeeping.com, I think, and you can look at different ways of doing it. They have a flat pan. It's on a stick. You can use to hook up to a battery and stick it in the entrance of a beehive. You could do different ways, such as you have a vaporizer, which is what I'm going to be using today. And sorry about my hair, guys, kind of just went today. But they have a vaporizer, which is what I'm going to be using today. And then they've got expensive gear that just keeps a continuous stream of the stuff that you use, and it just floods it. And so it depends on how much money you got, really. But for me, I'm going to show you real quick, guys. For me, what I'm going to be using is this vaporizer right here. Now I'm going to take this lid off here. All right, this here is the vaporizer I'm going to be using. I believe there's one called the ProVap. That's what everybody kind of likes to use. It's like $400. But this is actually one from HillCo, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And well, I could find out, I guess. Let me see if I can see here. Let's see if it has the name on it. A friend of mine recommended this to me, and I've used it last year. Yeah, HillCo. The 110V oxalic acid. I don't know if you can read it. I think it's backwards on the screen. The 110 volt oxalic acid vaporizer from HillCo. That's what I used last year. It did really well. I had to send it back because they said that they were going to make some adjustments. What they did was they increased the top portion of this cylinder here. A lot of people were complaining about how the caps, these here, were going past the point and not allowing the vapor to come out the end. So, they increased the tallness, and they increased the diameter of the tubing, so it has it's a little bit easier to have them come out. So, but anyways, this is the vaporizer you can use. This is one I've got. I think I paid $150, $140, I think, on HillCo. It's a lot cheaper. From what I've been told, it does pretty much the same thing as the ProVap. And don't quote me on that name. I think it is the ProVap. But what you do is, like I said, there's many ways of doing it. They got plates that attaches to batteries and different things. But like I said, this is what I'm going to be doing today. But what you do is you go ahead and you heat this up. You heat this up, you hook it up, and you heat it up, and it goes, this is in, I believe it's in Fahrenheit, so it goes up to 400 degrees. It has a regulator where it regulates it between 400 and 450. And so when I first got it, I was like, man, something's wrong with this thing, because it just keeps on going down. It gets up to 450, but then it goes down. And I didn't know why it was kept going down and going up. So I called them, and they said, well, it actually regulates it between the 400 and 450. So it's doing good if that's happening. But what you do is you fill this up, this little cap, it's a rubber cap, and you fill this rubber cap up with what you call wood bleach, which is technically oxalic acid. So oxalic acid comes in a powder form, and you can see it. And what you do is you put what I was taught how to do, by the way, the beginner beekeeping course that I took actually is coming up soon in January. I'll see if I can post that on the bottom. The beginner beekeeper course is going to be happening here in January. I'm not exactly sure when. I'll have to check the times and dates on that. But it's the Indian Creek Bee Company is actually putting it on, and it's the main beekeeper there is the one that does the lesson in the beekeeping beginner beekeeping class. And so they do really well, and they kind of teach you how to do kind of this stuff right here. But what you do is you take a cap like this, and you get that wood bleach that I just told you, and you put if you're running double deeps, you put a half teaspoon in here, half of a teaspoon. If you do a single, then you go half of a teaspoon. So half of this is a half teaspoon measurement. And so what I normally do is I just kind of fill it up, maybe I even put a little bit more. I kind of heap it a little bit. That's what I've been doing. It's been working really well. Matter of fact, I went and did this with my mentor, and he actually just did one of these also with the single. So I don't really think it hurts the bees as much, but I'm not too sure about that. All I know is that I've been using a half a teaspoon on a double deep and a half a teaspoon on a single. And so it's been working out. At least it has for the past 2 years. So you put that in here, and then you take your vaporizer, and after it's hot and ready, all right, after it's get up to 450 degrees, you stick it on here, make sure it's in there. And on the Beehive, there's going to be a hole on the back of your box, and I'll show you here in just a minute. There's a hole on the back of your box. You stick it in the Beehive, and you flip it upside down, tap it, and all the oxalic acid will go down and get onto the metal heating plate down here, and it'll turn instantly from a powder to a vapor and shoot out into the hive. And you're preventing and getting rid of varroa mites when you do this. So this is the vaporization and treatment for varroa mites. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and I'll show you guys as I do it. All right guys, I'm gonna get some out here. Now, I had a problem with my oxalic acid having a lot of clumps and it looks like pebbles in it where it had clumped together, and I was having an issue with my cap exploding off and just creating pressure because of the fact that these clumps were forming into the tubing. So my mentor told me that I need to go dehydrate it for a little while and get all the moisture out, which will allow it to work better. So that's kind of what I did, and that's why I've got a little bit better of a powder in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down in here. Let me put you guys down real quick. Do that. Okay. I had to use 2 hands to do that, guys. I'm sorry, but put it right down in there like that, and just looks like a powder. And what you do is, once this heats up to 400 degrees, right now it's at 265, 268. It's going up to 400. Top number is what's at. Bottom number is what I believe it's set to. So that's what I'm waiting for. Okay. And guys, I did this kind of weird. Normally you have a generator. People have generators to do when they do this, but I had to hook it up to my house. So anyways, next year, guys, I'll have a generator. You know, you got to do with what you got. You know. But anyways, the wind's blowing. Goodness. All right. So as we're waiting on that, I want to put this down here. I don't want that to fly away. Sorry about that, guys. I got Siri up going, but so I went through and I took off all of my feeders. I really don't want the feeders on right now. Plus, it is 30s and 40s right now, and we're fixing to come into a snowstorm, or some snow this next week. So I'm just gonna keep them off, I believe. I don't know, I've debated about putting them back on. There's no point, they really don't feed after 40, 50 degrees. So I'm probably thinking about just keeping them off. I checked some of these hives over here. I checked this one and this one. They're really heavy. And I even checked this one. I thought this one would be a little bit light, but actually it's getting heavy too. So I feel like, for the most part, I feel like most of them are doing pretty well. But what I did is I took the feeders off and kind of set them up to where no feeders. And before I even did all this stuff, guys, I came over here and I closed the entrances off with paper towels so the bees can't get out. I stuff them in there. So anyways, got them stuff in there. Hopefully it'll stay in. I got them all. That's actually, I didn't close that one off. These are all reduced entrances, permanently reduced entrances. So I stuffed them with paper towels, and I took the feeders off, and so I put the lid back on, and I drilled a hole in the bottom. And this is the hole that I kind of just gonna tell you guys about. Drilled the hole probably, I don't know, about an inch below the bottom of the handle here. Drilled a hole, depending on the size of your tubing is what it is. At least I went just a hair bigger than that tubing. I didn't want it to be snug. I wanted to be able to get it in without any resistance. So that's what I did. On every single one of these, I drilled a hole. And a lot of people ask, there's some people that will drill that hole in between the boxes here, so that whenever it disperses, when the vapors disperse, it goes everywhere. And some people do it where I have it, and it's just different ways of, I guess, doing it. I don't know. I was taught to do it that way, so that's what I've been doing. But anyways, we're gonna get into it here just a minute. Let's see what this is at. 450, if you can read it. Oh, it's going up to 452. It's going back down now. All right, so it's ready to go. Let me go ahead and turn this around. All right, guys. I had to mask up, and I got to put my glasses on. Sometimes it does want to explode out of the vaporizer. So to prevent that, we try to keep ourselves safe. So this is what I'm going to do. I got a small particle. You can get these at Lowe's. That I'm going to put on here. All right. So, I don't think it's too hazardous to smell this, but I still don't want to do it because it is an acid. But this is actually a natural component within honey already, and so it's actually approved so that you can use it, and it's still within, I believe, the state regulations. So technically, you are treating your hives when you do this, but even though the case may be, it's still a natural component within the honey, I've been told. So it's okay to do this, and the honey's still considered legit raw honey. All right, but don't do this. Do not do this when you have supers that have legit honey that's going to be going out into the population. Do not do this, because even though it's legit a component, you still don't want to do this with the honey that you're going to be selling. You only want to do. I only do this at certain times. Matter of fact, you know what? I only do this at certain times, guys. I do this. My time frame that I was told to do this was between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Now, this is for my area, and I live in central Central America. So I live in Missouri. And so in Missouri, in my area, I usually try to hit this around, like I said, Thanksgiving, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, whenever I have a chance to do it. Right now, it's the second week before Christmas. It's the second week before Christmas, and I have some time to do it. I'm going to do it. So, and technically the reason for that, and the reason why I do it now is because the amount of brood, and see, mites like to get it down into the brood, and that's how they attach. So, but the amount of brood that the colonies and bees have is a lot less right now than it is any other time of the year. And so that's the reason why we tried to do oxalic acid vaporizations now, is because it's a lot less of a quantity to hit than it is when hitting it in, say, July, when you have massive colony, when the queen is producing so much brood. And so it's better to hit it now, when she's got a little bit less brood, she's not producing as much eggs, and so you're able to hit it a little bit and get probably 90 to 100% of the brood. And so, anyways, all right, get back to it. All right. And guys, the time is going down, as you can see. Let me see if I can get it right here for you. The number's going down. The number will go down as the oxalic acid goes into the hive and gets into this. Let me go ahead and turn this around. All right. As you can see, the vaporizations are coming out here. So it did do a good run. Let me make sure it's still in there. Back up. Guys, once it gets back up to 400, that means it's done. Or at least for me. Once it gets back up to that regulating temperature, it's good to go for the second round, so we're good. All right. Oh. One down. A lot more to go. I'll see you guys when I get done, okay? I'm gonna try to speed through this. Just finished with them all, and got them all finished. They did really well. Guys, you may have noticed that I might have had you may have seen me having some trouble a little bit over here, and also I think it was just right here where that is at. I had a little bit of trouble because the tubing kept getting clogged up, and so not exactly sure what was going on, but I got it unclogged one time, and it started working really well for the rest of these. It went really well, and so I'm not exactly sure what happened, but and to be honest, I've been told it happens. So, and it happens a lot when you have more moisture in your oxalic acid, is what I've been told. So I might have to try to get some more of this moisture out of this. I think it still has a little bit of moisture in it. So, but anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up, and I will be right back with you guys in just a second. You guys, so came back in and finished whatever I had cleaned it up, everything, and so that would be it for the vaporizing for the year for me. Next time I get into these hives is going to be in February. At least that's my plan. I mean, I went ahead and decided to put the feeders back on because I don't know. I mean, if they get another warm day sometime, they might get into them. There's been a theory that if the bees kind of go underneath the feeder buckets and they'll vibrate and get warm, and if the sugar water will stay warm enough to where they'll be able to still get it. So I don't know if that's true or not. We'll see. I've been told that that's the theory behind it. So that's kind of one reason why I left them on there, because they're kind of light, and I'm just going to try to give them as best they can. So, but there was a couple out there that wasn't light. They were good. So I'm more reliant on those. And so, but there's the others out there. There's a couple, probably 3 of them, I'd say 3 or 4 of them that are kind of light. And so I'm not too happy about it, leaving them. But I mean, it's at the point now, it's just, they're going to have to be what they're going to have to be. So, but anyways, there's like I said previously, there's a lot of ways of vaporizing, and you can go on different sites. And I actually missed one. There's Man Lake, there's Better Bee, there's Dedant. That's just the main ones that I know of. And I'm sure there's others that I don't know, but those websites are the ones I actually use. But you can go online and view different ways of doing it, and I don't know of all of them. I asked around and somebody said that they use the Vaporizer, and so they recommended the HillCo one that I have, and it was cheap enough and it works really well, and at least it has for me. And so but it, like I said, it's seemed to do good today. Last year I had a problem because last year the fumes, once I did the vape, when I vaporized it, the fumes wasn't coming out of the box like I've seen done before. But this year they actually came out, after I had fumigated it actually came out the box, which is, in my opinion, the way of showing that it actually worked. So that I was happy about that when I seen that. So, and all my hives had that evidence shown. So, but anyways, but trying to think if there's anything else that I had forgotten in the video, but I don't think I did. So, but if I remember something, I'll probably talk it over again. But anyways, that's it for today, guys. I'll be getting back on here some other time. I might do one tomorrow. I'm going to be going over to my father-in-law's, and he's got some rabbit cages that I might talk about. And so, but anyways, until next time, see y'all later.